Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour. I'm joined as always by my lovely, wonderful, patient co-host, Alexander Volz. Say hello.
So ready to shit my pants today. Or I should say, we're going to beat the audience blue till they shit in their pants.
Okay, that sounds more like a lyric.
Yeah.
This is Every Album Ever, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. That is a new discography per episode. And today, we are talking about
The Dead Kennedys.
Hell yes.
The Dead Kennedys.
Dead Kennedys. This was a request from
My good friend Emily.
Thank you very much for requesting this, because this isn't a job for me. This is not a fucking job for me. I love the Dead Kennedys. We all should love Dead Kennedys. This is a delight.
So prevalent.
I'm so excited. Huh?
Sadly, their songs are still prevalent today.
Yeah, I used to. Man.
That's a lot of punk bands where also I'll throw on some Bad Religion. I'm like, why is this song still relevant? Like, I wish they weren't.
And Dead Kennedys were one of the more political punk bands, but they did so in a way that was always really, really entertaining, really
Satire.
funny, super satirical, really funny, over the top, zany like a motherfucker, but also brilliant songwriters.
Yeah, all four members. There's some rotating members, but they're like core four.
Yeah,
all four are amazing,
spectacular. Man, I knew we would get around to them eventually. I'm glad that they were requested because it's just an excuse to go back to them. And I didn't realize how much I really, really wanted to re-listen to everything until I started. I thought, this is joy. This is joy.
Yeah, it was more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Hell yeah. Because, man, like, I think this is the first artist on this podcast where I'd already heard the entire discography before. For even the bands that I'm really familiar with. No, never mind. I scratched that. I heard all of Death's album.
Yeah, there's
episode 23, Death.
Yeah, there's been a few for me.
Okay. So I was wrong. Whatever. It's still very prominent, this band. Goddamn, I started listening to them very young. I mean, I've been into punk. We know this. I talk about punk a lot. If you like punk, you know Dead Kennedys. If you don't listen to Dead Kennedys and you like punk, you're a liar and a poser or whatever the fuck people say. Remember when people used to call people poser? Remember that word?
And a fascist.
Man, it's been a long time since I've called anyone a poser or a fascist. But
in hindsight, calling people a poser was real stupid and really only something children do. So
absolutely, hell yeah. A poser would say that, though. Just saying.
Oh, a poser would say that. Yeah, if someone's like pretending to like a band, don't give them shit. Just show them the way. Indulge them. Yeah. Don't make them feel like shit because they don't know. Obscure band A, B, and C.
Also, it's I'm learning a lot on this podcast about like if you don't like a band, it's okay. It's okay to not enjoy something.
Yes.
Just because it's liked by other people doesn't mean you have to also like it.
Yes. Too many holy cows or sacred cows.
Holy cow! Holy cow!
I wonder if that's why people say sacred cows instead of holy cow.
We're changing it as of now. It's now holy cow.
But too many sacred cows for me as a Ute. I wish I dialed it back a little, but that's part of growing up, maturing.
Absolutely, but Dead Kennedys were not that for me. I guess they're a sacred cow, or I'm sorry, a holy cow, but rightfully so. When people think punk, they think Sex Pistols and yelling and general aggression,
Ramones, leather jackets, spikes,
aggression with no real musical prowess. These guys were all musical prowess. I
feel like
inventive as fuck.
I feel like that's like the punk bands we've covered so far are all extremely, extremely talented musicians.
For sure. And I don't think Dead Kennedys are as talented as like X or Minutemen or anything, but in terms of what they do creatively and songwriting wise, unmatched. And I can't think of very many bands that have ever done anything similar stylistically. Very.
Because
Go on.
I may be getting a little ahead, but like ideally, like this is what like rockabilly should sound like.
You mean good?
Yeah.
I agree. I hate rockabilly. Also hate psychobilly, but
same thing. Tomato.
That's not true. No, psychobilly is way more aggressive. Psychobilly is actually, if I had to judge it based on a guy who hates both genres, psychobilly is better. But I do hate the. You know what? Side note: I've heard from people who spent some time with people in that scene that those are the worst people. Like the psychobilly fans are like the worst crowds. The worst crowds.
I don't know if
like most violent, most drunk, most aggressive and obnoxious.
I feel like I keep talking about Dylan Gabig. Shout out to Dylan Gabig. If he considered himself like a rockabilly, we need to get him on the show one day, because
that is a friend of ours who I'm learning more things about. I did not know he partook in the dark arts of rockabilly.
When I met Dylan, he like had like the
pomp,
yeah,
or the coif, the pomp,
yeah,
really,
yeah,
woo,
dude. One day, because he's a tired boy. One day he like fell asleep and this left like a greasy outline in my pillow.
Oh, it's gross.
Anyways,
so Dead Candies backstory, or as much of it as we can get to, because I don't know much about the backstory.
So
aside from that, they're from the Bay Area.
Yes, formed 1979. East Bay Ray posted an ad in the Recycler.
That is guitar player East Bay Ray.
Yes, so if you're youngin, Recycler was like Craigslist, but in physical form.
Yeah, it was paper Craigslist.
And then they recorded their demos the same year. That got them some traction. Also, their name is
awesome.
Yeah,
it's a great band name.
Yeah, it got them a lot of like publicity, a lot of like negative publicity. So sometimes they would like play under different names.
Let's talk about the name a little bit. It's become like a no thought to me, a non-thought rather, because of how many times we've heard the name Dead Candies. But think about it. That's fucking hilarious. I mean, not the fact that John F. Kennedy was shot, but a band just we're just I don't know. I can't fathom how much I love the name Dead Candies.
Well, they said it wasn't like as much a dig on the Kennedys, although I feel like Jello's probably got digs against every and any politician.
Yeah, for sure.
He said it was more like that's when he like viewed like a decline in America is when Kennedy was shot. So it's not like necessarily
poking fun at
the Kennedys. Yeah. It's more like this is the decline of.
So the reason why I love it, and I was getting all fucking flustered when I was trying to explain it, is because band names that are a pluralized noun, I usually don't like at all. But when someone makes it funny or interesting, I'm fucking in love. The Melvins.
Yeah.
For one. The name the Melvins is because they had a
dweeby coworker.
Whose name was Melvin, who nobody liked. And you know what? We're going to name our band the Melvins. And it's like it's a brilliant name. It's brilliant. The same with Dead Candies. Like, I hate pluralized, the fucking, I can't think of like the Ramones is another good one. Okay. Like, we're just the Ramones. None of us are Ramone anything, but we're the Ramones. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm trying to think of one to piss you off, but I can't.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of. I mean, there's so many bad ones Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Like Tom Petty is the name that makes it good. The Heartbreakers is a stupid fucking name.
I don't know if it's really fucking Mumford and Sons.
Okay, that's an awful band. I fucking hate them. I fucking hate them. Why'd you do that? I'm upset now. Like, why'd you bring them up?
That's the only reason to bring them up. I like the Brian Posehn joke where the only way you should be allowed to call your band Mumford and Sons is if your name is actually Mumford and those are actually your fucking sons.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna say like you own a general store or something.
Or that. Yeah, it's too similar to Stanford and Sons. Shout out to your brother Robert.
Sanford isn't it? Yeah, Sanford and Sons. What? Stanford and Son was the more educated version of the show.
Sanford. Yeah.
Sorry, that was a bad joke. But So they formed in 79. They're already
78 did the demos.
Okay. Formed in 78. That hurt 79. And they're already stirring some shit because they were associated with the early punk scene. They became hardcore as it gets.
Also,
later on, but
I'm sure there's more, but I feel like the Bay Area punk scene isn't like as popular as say like DC or even like Los Angeles.
No, the only ones I can think of or other ones are like Flipper. They're from San Francisco, right?
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's like non-existent.
No, I know. But I'm saying that's the only other band I could think of at the top of my head. Whereas obviously LA, New York, and
Bay Area,
goddamn everywhere,
more known for its metal.
Yeah, oddly enough, Dead Kennedys not very metal, but boy, are they creepy fucking band. And I don't mean like well, I mean Jello Biafra is pretty creepy, but the songs themselves are pretty creepy. Okay, members.
So we got East Bay Ray, the guitar player, Jello Biafra, the singer, and then at this time we have Ted on drums.
Ted, Mr. Fucking not. Okay, that's the most normal name of.
And that's not even his real name. This one, but
okay, it's one of those things.
6025, I believe, was like rhythm guitar.
Oh, they had a rhythm guitarist.
Yeah, only on Fresh Fruit and the California Uber Alice
single.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then why am I spacing? And then Klaus.
Yeah, Klaus Florid
on the
bass.
On the bass.
Wacky ass names. Clearly a bunch of wacky dudes. Klaus had a couple solo albums, and one of them I heard was real good, and I can't fucking find it. I don't remember what it's called. I know I'm gonna Google it right now.
I believe it like really, man, we're kind of all over the place.
It's called Because I Say So. Came out in 1988, and I only know that because my Google search immediately pulled it up because I've been searching for it for a while.
I know he put out one that was pretty like influential on like Frankenchrist.
Okay.
Like, they were like, man, you're on to some shit. We gotta incorporate that into the band.
Wild fucking band. What's your backstory with them?
Well, the origin stories are vague. It's one of two things. Of course, the Tony Hawk games. I think that Tony Hawk 1 was like my introduction to so much weird music, like Primus and Dead Kennedys. Police Truck was on there. Or I can't remember if it was pre or post Tony Hawk. I was really into Buffy, and I was like on oh man. Anyways, I was like on some like fan site or something, and they were talking about like music all the characters would listen to, and someone's like, oh, Xander would probably listen to Dead Kennedys, Too Drunk to Fuck. So my introduction is either Too Drunk to Fuck or Police Truck.
Those are two favorites that we won't be talking about until a lot later on in the episode. So Dead Kennedys had 4 albums in total, but we're going to be talking about 4 albums and 1 EP and 1 compilation, which is, it has Police Truck and it has Too Drunk to Fuck and it has a bunch of other shit on it.
Yeah.
First album came out in 1980. The last one technically came out in 1986, but the compilation we're talking about came out in 1987. So let us begin with the first album, 1980, Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables.
If efficiency in progress is ours,
sorry, I can't resist.
Indulge.
No, I will, but I don't know when. Aside from Jello being fucking Jello, this is pretty regular. This is so regular.
It is.
I love
his
this intro.
vocals.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore.
But,
yeah.
But yeah.
And now we're kicking it up.
What a wacky.
To choose to sing that way.
Yeah, we've talked about it on like other podcasts.
Yeah. Kill the bar. Oh God. Okay.
But yeah, the singing that way totally sets them apart from the pack, and obviously best album.
Best album, personal favorite. This is one of the best albums in the world.
It is. Yeah. It goes down so smoothly,
unbelievable,
start to finish. There's so many like punk classics on here. But even like the ones people don't really talk about a lot, like Your Emotions, Chemical Warfare, and
all of them. All of them.
Yeah.
This is flawless. Beginning to end, it never stops. Perfectly paced. I can name every song and tell you something about it. Well, I can't name them, but like, if you name me a song, I'll tell you something about it.
Yeah.
Forward to Death. Man, like, it's fuck. That song is so good. It's so damn good. Drug Me. No one talks about Drug Me.
Yep.
So fucking spastic. Spastic. It's messy, super fast. I mean, it's fast for 1980. It's extremely fast. I think it's one of the best songs. But you know, put on a little bit of Drug Me because it does so much within so little time.
We're just gonna end up listening to the full album.
I know.
But yeah,
already, it's insane.
Yeah, even when they're playing at breakneck speed, they come back and do something like this, where you're like, oh, it has melody to it.
Yeah. So it keeps going. It keeps going crazy. Beautiful song. And already from this album, so they're dabbling with the faster stuff. This is about as hardcore as it got in 1980. But then you have the one everybody knows, California Uber Alice, Holiday in Cambodia. Obviously, those are the two most famous songs. And there are these fucking slow, creepy, paranoid, spacey, sick, twisted songs.
Yeah. Most people don't really use the term epic with punk bands, but to me, Holiday in Cambodia and California Uber Alice are as epic punk as you can get. Musically and lyrically, just they get you amped. The messages are crazy. We went to go see comedian Gary Goldman, and that's Gulman.
Hell yeah.
And he was like talking about dictators, and he's like young people probably don't even know about Pol Pot. And I was like, if I didn't listen to Dead Kennedys, I don't.
Yeah. Pol Pot, Pol Pot, Pol Pot, Pol Pot.
Because I remember listening to that song. Like, what the fuck is at the time? And like, oh, he's
a bad guy.
Yeah, so
bad guy.
So yeah, I definitely feel like my life has been enriched.
Yeah, for sure. East Bay Ray's guitar tone already is one of the most brilliant guitar tones.
One of the greatest punk guitar players.
One of the greatest guitar players. And I don't mean he's a good guitar player. He can fucking play, but creatively, one of the greatest. The melodies that this man comes up with is shit Greg Ginn can only dream of, because it's ugly and dissonant and creepy and like the kind of wrong notes you would hear in a horror movie soundtrack, but they're done in a way that's also kind of beautiful. The way it contrasts with the rest of the song, like the rest of the instruments in the song, rather. And Holiday in Cambodia is probably the best example on this album of that really reverby, echoey, spacey guitar tone. A lot of delay, and the decision to use such crazy delay in a punk band is real unusual.
It's like I don't know when the Ramones recorded Surfing Bird, but their cover of Surfing Bird is pretty like straightforward. But yeah, whenever a band is able to like combine two like genres people don't normally think about, it's pretty and successfully.
Yeah.
And so seamlessly, it's always admirable and
it's a delight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way it's paced, because this album's like less than 30 minutes, which is perfect. I mean, it does everything it needs to, and then it ends. It has the like we mentioned the longer, creepier, weirder songs, and then it has like these kind of straightforward punk songs in between. But even the straightforward punk songs are still fucking weird.
Yep.
Like a Chemical Warfare is pretty much as basic of a punk song as you can get, but then it just does this weird lullaby thing at the end. It's like, put on that lullaby part. I don't have a timestamp, but it's at the end.
All right. Bear with me.
Oh, it's too far. Right before that.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry for jumping around.
I consider that more like circus music, which is...
Oh, that's a lullaby.
Is it?
Yeah. You know what? Maybe you're right. I can't tell.
I don't know, whatever. If it is like circus carnival music, it's perfect for Jello's voice.
I think it's a lullaby, but you could, you could be right. I don't remember enough to stand on either side. But yeah, regular ass punk song, and then they're just gonna do that at the very end. And which another really good one. I
remember being too young or not too young, but like not understanding like the concept of why you would want to lynch your landlord, and then and then after not like getting kicked out, but like because my family's renters for life, and after like having to move for like no real reason, really, I'm like, yeah,
let's lynch the landlord.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
fuck yeah.
When You Get Drafted is another really good kind of straightforward punk song, but then the solo is this. Ooh, is it fucking morbid? It's just morbid, East Bay Ray, echoey ass, delayed, scary sounding thing. Like it's just comes out of nowhere, and it really makes a song. It gives a song more depth when really it's just the song itself separates the album and gives it the good pacing because it's just straightforward. But then you throw in this fucking left turn in the middle of the straightforward song. It just this album never stops being interesting. And I have to mention it because it's one of the best songs ever written. I'll stand by that to the grave. Ill in the Head.
Ill in the Head is
fucking
crazy.
Fight Me. Best songs. It's genius. Complete genius.
Yeah.
That guitar line. It sounds like he's playing nonsense notes, but then the bass is following him note for note. Let's
do it.
So twisted. Do it. Oh my God. God damn.
I'm assuming riffs like that are what you're talking about. When you're like, Greg Ginn wishes he could.
Yep, Greg Ginn fucking wishes he can come. And I like Greg Ginn and I love Black Flag, but that is genius. Oh my God. Oh, I love this album so much. And fucking Viva Las Vegas, one of the best covers. One of the best covers.
Oh yeah, because yeah, it's totally different, and it's better than
the original. And
for sure.
It closes the album like because I think before that is Holiday in Cambodia, and then which is this big epic song, and then you close out with a frantic Elvis cover.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's so good.
It does like feed into their surf rock sensibilities and all that.
There's not enough good things I can say about this album. I love this band and everything they did, but this is the one where I was already a fan of like other albums before I heard this one, oddly enough. And then I heard this, I was like, this is the Beatles who? Like this is one of the best things ever written. It's so consistent. It's so fucking wonderful.
I remember when I would like check out albums, I would just download like 3, maybe 4 songs to get a feel for it. And then, I'll buy it if it's good.
Right.
And then for this one, it was just like, I think I had like 6 or 7 off of it. And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess I'm buying it because.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nowhere wrong on this album. Please, if you haven't heard this, God damn it. This is already so much better than punk. And I love punk. But this is far, far beyond. Let's move on.
What are we on? Okay. Hold on. This
Pulling it up.
Pulling it up. And then, so when you go on streaming services, people, so we're going to talk about 1981's In God We Trust, but it's on streaming services. It's usually thrown in with plastic surgery disasters.
Yeah, it's even on CD, it's always at the end of plastic surgery disasters, but it came out before it. It's an EP. We're going to be talking about it separately. And
here we go. Opening track, Religious Vomit.
And just like that, they're hardcore. This is this is as hardcore as it gets. This is exactly what, like, this is a fucking textbook definition of hardcore.
This almost sounds like it should be before Fresh Fruit.
Yeah. In terms of like the musicality, it does sound less. It sounds more primitive than Fresh Fruit, but
also, like, I hate to do it because I don't think they have a bad.
This is your worst?
This, because it's the shorter. It was real hard for me to pick worst.
Quote, worst, yeah.
But I'm like, this is 13 minutes.
Okay, so I think it's a great EP. I see why you consider their worst, technically worst release, because it's the least musically adventurous, probably. And I do firmly believe that we've got a bigger problem here. We've got a bigger problem now. Is so unnecessary. It's just California Uber Alice
with like different lyrics updated for Reagan.
Yeah, it's like a jazzier intro too.
If it was lounge version start to finish, but then it gets faster.
It just becomes the original version.
But yeah, so there's still a ton of classics on here, or as many classics as you can get in 13 minutes. I love Religious Vomit, Moral Majority, this huge middle fingers to the religious right, and then Rawhide. Is
so good.
It's a joke song, but it's so good. It's so good. Like,
is that a cover?
Yeah. It's from the TV show.
That's right.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was from a TV show. I knew it was a cover, but I didn't know it was from a TV show. It's one of those songs that you've heard in passing forever.
Yeah. I'll just play a little bit. Also, this their first recordings with drummer DH
Peligro.
So
that's like the classic drummer.
Yeah,
he's the drummer we know from.
And then the rhythm guitar player is gone. So this is like the longest incarnation of Dead Kennedys.
Yeah.
So here's Rawhide.
God damn, well, let's do a tune called Rawhide, okay? Goddamn tape's rolling, let's go. Let's move about!
Man, Jello is one charismatic frontman.
And then, like, I don't think they'd be able...
Oh, it's so good.
I don't think they'd be able to play this if they weren't good musicians.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy.
This is so good.
Keep rolling.
And this is the part everyone knows.
Let's take this rolling. Keep them doggers rolling. Keep them doggers rolling. Keep them doggers rolling.
Oh, it's so good. Oh no.
So yeah, that's
it's so good.
That's like a joke song, but it's still amazing.
Still amazing.
And then probably the most well-known track off here, Nazi Punks Fuck Off.
Yeah. Man, that song got so overplayed for me as a teen that it was amazing at the time, but now it's like borderline pandering. Like, we know Nazis suck. Like, okay. But back then they're around. They were like incepted into the scene.
Oh, they're still around.
They're still around, but they're not welcome. Nobody's like, there's not a lot, and nobody's cool with it. Like
unless you're a punk band in the movie Green Room and you run low on gas.
You've been telling me about that movie. I'm still afraid to watch it,
dude. I'm gonna make you watch it. Yeah. In that movie, it's a touring punk band and they run low on gas and they have to play a gig for skinheads. And then they're like, we're going to play Nazi punks, fuck off, to like get a rise.
That's fun. That's funny. Yeah, don't do that in certain parts of the country, I guess. But
do and
run. And run. Absolutely. Good fucking song. Good EP. I mean, I listened to like counting 3 times in a row, and it was like,
yeah, it's 13. It's 13 minutes. Yeah. And then, I think these were actually earlier songs that this like came back to.
Really?
So it sonically sounds like it should be the first thing. In
terms of the actual songwriting, for sure.
I guess technically it is, but in terms of release, for some reason we're going to record the fastest thing ever.
It's insanely fast. And I brought this up, I believe on the, I thought I had a burp. God damn it. Thought I had a burp. I brought up, I think on the Replacements episode 27, that the difference between 1980 and 1981 in the punk scene was profound. Mm-hmm. This is the perfect example.
Yeah.
Because 1980 was fresh fruit. 1981 is the fastest shit ever. Mm-hmm. Like the songs on here are a million times faster than the fastest song on the first album. And it's only been a year. Mm-hmm. So that's the difference between 80 and 81. They're a hardcore band now. They are as much crazy shit as they did musically, and as much as I love them as a weird, creepy, wacky band, they're through and through a hardcore band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this is like, I think DC punk was getting big. And so this is kind of like a tip of the hat to like what they were doing in DC. With like,
I'm a big fan of DC punk. That's Minor Threat. That is, well, technically Bad Brains were from DC, but they're not as associated as the rest. But, Minor Threat's the big one to come out of DC. And, other ones that I can name like Faith and Void and, I don't know, fucking it. The Untouchables and the other bands that nobody listens to, but it's a good scene. It's a good scene.
This is also one of the first punk albums or EPs to reference Reagan, which every punk band did. But this is one of the first.
This is one of the first?
This is one of the first.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about fucking other, I can't think of which bands we did, but we've covered bands who were like, fuck Reagan.
They're mostly fuck Reagan. Like, yeah. I mean, Minutemen did if Reagan played disco, which is a nice fun take on it. Also, we did that Slayer album where it was a bunch of punk covers, and there was plenty on there that, like, TSOL is a known fuck Reagan band. Mm-hmm. But anyway, good EP. Alex is worse, but that's just sort of by default because it's short and it has
that's the game we play.
The generally weaker California Uber Alice version. But we are moving on to the second actual album. 1982, Plastic Surgery Disasters. I can't hold it. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I love this song. We're gonna try it out you. We'll make you die. It'll get you just a little bit sick. Got a head cold, got a chest cold, and a street head cold. Not forever, make a hey, hey, make a hey, hey, have a day, day. For days like it is. Well, they got the time. Oh God, that vocal line is so good.
Yeah. This is more of a proper follow-up to Fresh Fruit.
I want to hear the whole thing. I will put on the whole thing. It's so damn good.
I think I'm going to give this personal
favorite.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't blame you at all. It's fucking like that song.
Like
and then Terminal Preppy, which comes right after. Dude, 2 of the best hardcore songs ever. Dude, by far.
Again, Terminal Preppy pisses me off how like true it is. And like fucking hate college. And
trust me, I went to college as an older gent. I graduated last year. don't go to college if you're an older gen. It's gonna piss you off.
Dude, yeah, fuck these people who get drunk and get by on their family's name and fucking join frats.
That was a lot of people.
So many people.
Yeah.
So many people this get in because they're money and they're not there for their education. And that's terminal preppy. It's infuriating, but a great song.
Great song. Fucking great song.
Fucking Halloween is so good.
Halloween! Yeah. So good.
When he says dress up like a clown, putting on your act, it's only time of year all year you'll ever admit that. Like just talking about how like creatively and emotionally dead people are. And
Sure are.
like Halloween's one of the few times people are like allowed to embrace their creativity and
It's super sad.
and
too.
be weird. It is super
Yeah.
sad, and that's the point of the song. I'm like, what a very dead Kennedy's outlook on Halloween.
Yeah. Man. Well, you know what? Keep going. I don't want to cut you off yet.
Buzz Bomb.
Fuck yeah, dude. God damn, that solo. Fuck.
Dude.
God damn it.
And then
Sorry, I'm getting
Again,
sweaty.
Dude, every type of person I hate in life is covered on this fucking album. Because Buzz Bomb is just someone who like loves their car way too much. Way too much. And yeah, fuck those people. Man, Winnebago Warrior, the way they maybe not like Eno Morricone specifically.
Dude, I wrote that. Like, it sounds like a hardcore punk Morricone.
It's musically so good. It's I get at the time why they were trashing people like that, but
What's it about?
It's just about fucking people traveling in their Winnebago
Okay.
and taking pictures and picking up souvenirs.
Okay, like retirees.
Yeah, but like it's over the top, but it's in the Dead Kennedys. You know, that's in their MO. What else, dude? Fucking right.
You're naming them in the order that I wrote them down.
That's more or less the order on the.
I didn't realize that, but okay, that takes away the fun of it.
Yeah, dude, right? It's like jazz and Black Sabbath and punk had like a baby.
It's funny you say Black Sabbath because it is one of the, well, it's not their most, but it's one of their more paranoid songs.
Yeah.
They dabble with these paranoid sounding, it's like it's in the same vein as Holiday in Cambodia, longer, drawn out, creepy. Put on a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to play a little bit.
Real hardcore right there.
Yeah, it's kind of like War Pigs a little bit.
It's way more twisted than fucking War Pigs.
Yeah, but
fucking, I love this. I mean, I like War Pigs, but I like this a lot more. So good.
So yeah.
I'm looking over my shoulder as I hear this because that's how paranoid this sounds.
Also, like, what an interesting riff
Yeah.
to play.
That's one thing about Ray that he does that is unmatched, completely unmatched, is that he writes these things that are just a handful of incorrect notes by normal standards, but they feel melodic. It's bizarre, and I don't know how his mind works, and it's admirable because it's so hard to do, and so few bands and musicians have done it. Because all those are just incorrect notes, but you feel something from it. It doesn't just feel like abrasive extreme metal type stuff or complete nonsense like Greg Ginn kind of stuff. You feel something from it. It feels paranoid. It feels like uncomfortable. It's great.
Yeah, and again, that's a very like jazz thing to like play the wrong notes, but they fit. Yeah.
It fits so wonderfully. God damn. Go on.
Oh, Bleed for me is pretty fucking brutal.
Man, I know it, but I'm blanking on what it sounds like.
I'll just play a quick snippet of that.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I remember it now. God damn, that intro is fucking...
It's a great intro. And then, yeah, lyrically, it's just fucking brutal. Sounds like we're just like playing like free jet or
It's more constructed than that. Oh, it's a great riff.
yeah, okay.
That's so good. It's so good.
And then I think like musically, one of their most like ambitious songs,
Say it.
Moon Over
Hell
Mine.
yeah. Hell yeah. Fuck, dude. That song is so good it hurts.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Ray steals the fucking show. Steals it.
Yeah, that song is fucking also like maybe not the first time, but it's like a theme through the Dead Kennedys music where they write like post-apocalyptic storylines, and these could be like the visuals and the music are so good I can like imagine someone turning them into like a short film or something.
Mm-hmm. It does have a lot of that, especially the longer stuff like that. Man, no one. I wrote down in my notes that no other hardcore band can pull off long songs like them, but no other band has done stuff like this where it's these creepy, paranoid sounding, but they're still high speed and they're still really aggressive and high energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a rare sound. It makes them legendary.
Yeah, I think that goes back to telling a story on the Husker Du episode. I was talking about how punk bands kind of have this battle of introspective versus outward storytelling.
Yeah.
And it's very clear that Dead Kennedys are way more about like outward.
Oh, for sure.
Almost to the point where it's kind of surprising they've never done like a concept album.
Yeah, that actually is pretty interesting.
But yeah, I don't think they need to because they're talking about the lengths of the songs. Even though like 5-6 minutes is not bad, but it also goes by real quick.
Yeah, you never notice the long song. You never notice the long song.
Yeah, especially if you're like looking at the lyrics. There's such like interesting stories, and
that's one thing about DK is that when I was younger, I'd always like, well, even now, like I'm not a fan of hearing people's politics, even if I agree with them. Like the simple fact that you're telling me your beliefs, like I don't care about you and your beliefs. But the thing is, and DK is one of the most political punk bands out there, but the way it's presented is fun.
I think because that's where the satire comes in, and the fact that they're like cautionary tales. Like, people knew like the ozone layer was like blowing or burning away in the 80s, but like climate change, global warming, those weren't like terms. And then so yeah. Dead Kennedys way ahead of the ball on this one because this that's what Moon Over Marin's about is the Bay Area, a rich neighborhood turning into a toxic shithole. Right. So
it's like I think the reason why I hate political lyrics and political rants in general is because it's usually like a presented in a way as though like listen to my beliefs. I want you to change your mind based on what I'm telling you. Whereas a satirical approach, like specifically Dead Kennedys, is more of like, we know these things obviously, and I much appreciate being spoken to as though, yeah, I do know this stuff already. I know this stuff already. You don't have to tell me as though I'm an idiot and you're teaching me. I know this. And Dead Kennedys always approach the songs like, listen, these are all stupid. We all know this is stupid. This is how stupid they are. This is how stupid this particular topic is.
Yeah, and I think putting that effort behind it to maybe approach it more in like a sci-fi, not always, but like a sci-fi author Philip K. Dick, like all his work is real political, but if you're stupid, you can this kind of like enjoy Minority Report or Scanner Darkly. But if you're like hip to it and you know what he's saying, it's there too. And I think that's why like the Dead Kennedys Work.
In terms of the actual production, it's a lot better than the first album. Generally, it's a lot fuller and bigger sounding, but it's really like piercing, kind of like it's really treble heavy. That guitar, as much as I love it, man, it is that treble is cranked, really, really distorted. Like the whole thing sounds distorted. Like the drums too also sound distorted. Very, very piercing. I don't know if that's like a meta thing that they're trying to do. Maybe, I don't know, but it still sounds really good. Goddamn.
Also, I like no disrespect to Ted, but I think DH is such a way more tight, versatile drummer.
I love the drumming on the first album, but DH is he's real good. He's real fast. And there are still moments where they lose each other and it's sloppy. And this goes to the very end, but generally he's a lot better. Alex's personal favorite. This one could be a contender for best for sure, but the only thing that kept me from giving it anything like that was it's simply because the first album is so perfect.
It is, and like it's not to like take away but anything from this album, but like the first one is just like so instantly classic.
Yeah. The first album kind of translates to anybody who's into rock music remotely. This one is like, if you're into punk, this is the one.
It is kind of upsetting that these albums are kind of like overlooked a little bit. Obviously, if you're like in the sense that like if you're a fan of punk or the Dead Kennedys, obviously you know these, but like I don't know. I kind of wish they had some like more like everyone can name Police Truck or California. I kind of
these songs not so much.
Yeah, I kind of wish these songs and some of the songs on the next album,
they deserve it so much to be in the lexicon of music lovers, not just punk lovers. They're that good. They're that spectacular. So let's move on to the next one. Where are we at?
This is 1985's Frankenchrist.
Yes! Love how different this song is.
So weird. It's so weird.
It's very much like in their repertoire.
Yeah.
But also, fuck man.
That guitar. Oh God, it's so good. What a fucking wacky riff. Oh, that's a funny riff.
We're sorry that you no longer need it, or want it, or even care about it.
You can like hear why someone like Mike Patton loves the Dead Kennedys in this song.
For sure. Oh, hell yeah.
Go on strike.
Also, this automation talk, that's predicting the future, man.
Oh, a lot.
To let you go.
I think a lot of their songs predict the future, but
Beater now obsolete, and there's nothing in hell will let you do about it. Super good fun. Ain't that goodness?
God damn.
so good.
And throw in the cold like a piece of trash.
I almost gave this person. It was real hard. It was real hard to pick between this and Plastic Surgery, but
this was so close to being my favorite. This is the first Dead Kennedys album I actually ever heard, like in full, not just in passing. This is the first one I bought, and boy, this is their only non-hardcore album. This is it has a couple hardcore songs or one hardcore song.
I think this is the one. What's it? Klaus did the solo album, and they were like, "You're on to something." And I think his solo album really
influenced this.
It influenced the sound in this one. And I think also, before we talk about like our feelings on the album, this album caused
a lot of shit,
a ruckus, a storm. Back in the day, we've kind of talked about the PMRC. They were just out to censor mostly music. It was weird. They didn't really go after movies and TV.
Idiots. Yeah.
And it was a whole thing. Like they would go after fucking Metallica, Judas Priest,
Merciful Fate.
Episode
Episode 2, we cover Merciful Fate, believe it or not.
I think even Body Count with the Cop Killer.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Episode 9, we cover Body Count.
All of the PMRC's favorite bands we love.
Yeah.
So on the inside, we talked about artist H.R. Giger on Celtic Frost.
Episode 28.
Yeah,
I keep, man, we're just throwing out all these episodes.
He does a lot of artwork for bands, and he designed the aliens in the movie Alien with Sigourney Weaver. And so on the inside of this album, I believe it's called Land of Penises.
I thought it was called Landscape XX.
Let's see. Oh, it was called Penis Landscape.
Penis Landscape?
And it's just dicks going into vaginas because it's Giger.
I thought it was buttholes. It's vaginas?
Yeah. Well, Jello said the orifice is up too in interpretation.
It's rows and columns of dicks going in holes.
Yeah.
Like it's a Giger detailed.
Yes. So the orifice, pick your orifice, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
we won't get kicked off YouTube if we put the image up, do we?
I almost thought about doing it.
You can Google it.
Yeah. So anyways, a 15-year-old girl bought it. Her parents got fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Members of the band and the label ended up getting sued. Some people luckily got out of it. The trial ended in like a hung jury.
Is that a joke because of the penises?
No.
Okay. I'm kidding, sorry.
Yeah. You ironically ended in a hung jury. So the Dead Kennedys tried to do a retrial, but the judge said, no, you don't have enough new evidence. So they kind of got away with it. They kind of didn't get away with it. But yeah, it's real stupid.
Didn't that basically spawn the parental advisory sticker?
I feel like it was probably this and a few other things because it was purchased at a Warehouse Music.
I remember Warehouse Music. That place sucked, but I remember it.
We probably went to the same one because I used to live in real close proximity to Mike when we didn't know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then so there's this thing, Atlantic Square.
Yeah. In the corner part of it, right?
They used to have a Warehouse Music, and then more on the north end, and then like towards the south end, there was a Tower Records.
Tower Records. I spent a lot of days there instead of school.
It's real possible before me and Mike even knew we existed that we were in that Tower Record at the same time.
Without a doubt.
Because these places were within walking distance, but I guess Tower Records doesn't have to worry, or Warehouse doesn't have to worry about getting sued. But they were all stressed out about it. And this caused like a ruckus, which is real stupid because the fucking, like, David is naked. There's plenty of nudity in traditional art.
Also, the thing is, it's full penetration for the sake of full penetration. It is literally rows of asses and penises. That's all it is. It's hilarious. But it's just vulgar for the sake of vulgar. That's what's funny about it.
It's not like, it's not real. It's not.
No, it's
porno.
Not. And even if it was, it's still ridiculous.
But yeah, anyways, that was a whole mess.
Yeah.
Also, it was even more disappointing because if you noticed, usually when we cover older bands, they'll put out album like the next year.
Yeah, 3 years since the previous album. What happened?
So there wasn't any drama or anything. They were just trying to get Alternative Tentacles off the ground. So
that's right. That's the label. Well, it's their label.
I think East Bay Ray and Jello were the owners, but now it's this Jello.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what the delay was. They were just trying to. There wasn't like issues or anything.
That's
at the time.
rare.
Yeah. So
no drama.
Just for the purpose of getting their own label off the ground, hence the delay. And so yeah, that's just a big like story in the Dead Kennedys.
Yeah, it's real important story. They influenced a lot of shit with their shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, not even musically.
So
musically as well, but
now we can get to the
actual album.
Yes,
it's good.
Real
good.
Probably most songs are like 4 to 5 minutes.
They're all long.
Yeah.
This is the all the things that I loved about the early stuff, where like they throw in this creepy long song, it's a whole album of that. However, I don't feel like it all works for me.
It does work for me, and this is like as close as they get to like a concept album. This Gushing Over Moon of Marin, this album feels like an extinction of that. A lot of the songs have a post-apocalyptic setting. And also, like, when I was listening to this, I was like, man, like System of a Down really is the metal version of Dead Kennedys. Because again, they're not afraid to be silly, and thematically they're almost identical to Dead Kennedys. Obviously they sound very different.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, there's like no way System of a Down sounds the same in a world without this album or the Dead Kennedys. Like you have like A Growing Boy Needs His Lunch.
Yep.
Which is probably like peak Jello vocals. That's like the funniest. That's like the funniest he sounds to me.
Yeah, like it's fucking great.
But yeah, like Hellation, Chicken Farm.
Yeah, Hell Nation is the one hardcore track on here, and I hate the way it's produced. It's a great song, but it's so. Ray's guitar is like the best on here. It's that spaciness from the earlier stuff, but the whole, like every song is as spacey as that. The delay and reverb is cranked to high hell, and that they usually toned it down on the more hardcore songs on previous albums. Here, even on Hell Nation, that delay is cranked way the fuck up. There's a bunch of reverb on the drums, and it's so fast that it all just turns into a giant jumble. And Biafra's vocals are definitely some of his weakest on that song, but so it doesn't really work for me. But I do like the song still. This Could Be Anywhere is one of the best,
real good,
and in terms of like their paranoid stuff, one of the best.
And then
it's so fucking good.
Yeah, this is probably like their most paranoid album too.
Oh yeah, without doubt.
I guess the big songs off here are like Jocko Rama.
Oh man, I could do without that one.
Man, sometimes it's hard because you're talking about like how ahead of the like narrative they are, and then obviously like now like CTE in football is a big thing, and then here are the Dead Kennedys in 1985 talking about like how atrocious the sport is. That's still not a popular opinion to take.
But it is also
probably, and so even less than 30 years ago.
Back then, it was probably fucking wild to say, "Hey, football is fucking dangerous as shit," and people are like there's a whole little
social suicide. Taking that stance back then,
but they were not afraid of that. Yeah,
here it is, and then the other big one is the MTV Get Off the Air.
Musically, it's so stupid.
I think it's okay, but for whatever, probably this because at the time, like it was like, ooh, you're not supposed to say that.
Yeah, it's very edgy to diss MTV back then. But hey, they ended up being right. MTV isn't MTV anymore, obviously.
Another like ahead of the curve thing, Goon's a Hazard. Holy shit! Like, I'm listening to it and I'm like, dude, I bet Jello, if he hasn't already, has gone on rants about superhero movies.
Oh, he has to have. He has to fucking,
it's everything he hates. It's so commercial. It's these, especially a superhero like Tony Stark. Basically, like, that's another theme. They they'll be like, fuck vigilantes. It's stupid. I mean, and that's kind of what Goon's a Hazard is, only they tie it into like the Dukes of Hazzard thing, and like another thing that wasn't they're like the Confederate flag is obviously racist, and Dukes of Hazzard's is a bunch of racist bullies.
Oh man, that flag, like the people there's a lot of people who aren't racist that support, not supported, but use the flag, but I do believe it's out of like ignorance to how the rest of the world sees it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I know you don't feel that way, but everyone else does. Therefore, kind of take that into account. Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, when he says no deer to blow away in the woods today, so we'll go to Orville and shoot a black kid down today. Like,
God damn.
Again, this was like when white people were in denial about that shit.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like Dave Chappelle after Rodney King. They were like, oh, okay, maybe they got a point.
Hold on. All right. You can talk.
All right.
But, yeah.
We saw the video.
So the first half is so dark. It's creepy and scary. Wonderful. Love it. Second half, jokey as fuck.
Yep.
Super jokey. I can do without the jokiness. MTV Get Off the Air musically has a ridiculous intro. Put on the intro. Like,
all right.
Yeah. It's charming in a way.
It's kind of industrial feeling. The drums.
I don't hate it, but it's still stupid, as you can hear.
I think that comes with parodying things.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm your video DJ.
Yeah,
I
this.
always talk like I'm way down on Quaaludes. I wear a sack baseball jacket everywhere I go.
Like I get it. It's fine. It's stupid though, and I can do without the jokiness. But thing is, that song does go a bunch of places. It turns into hardcore. It turns into other stuff. I do appreciate how fucking diverse it is, even if I don't actually like most of it. Jagarama is a fine song, but it's like the middle section where he goes in like the dialogue about the football player getting paralyzed, which is, it's meant to be like a storybook kind of the way he's narrating it. It's kind of like he's doing the characters' voices and stuff. Again, after the first listen, it stops being interesting. It just becomes this jokey thing.
I'm kind of surprised Jello doesn't like talked about Notorious B.I.G. We talked about like King Diamond, how they'll play like different characters and they'll kind of, even if it's not like a big thing, they'll do something to kind of imply that they're different characters.
Yeah.
Like Jello doesn't. Jello is
Jello the whole time. Yeah, I love his voice. I love his voice, but goddamn, he's got no range. The man, and
he's at 11 all the time.
It's funny too because it may, especially to casual listeners, you would never guess that this motherfucker actually can sing. And I don't mean like I've heard him sing well. Doing that is not easy. His actual, how high he can go and how clear he is and how his wiggly weird vibrato. That's not easy to do. It's actually really hard to do.
I guess on the opposite end of the spectrum would be like for how fast he sings and like the words are very clear.
He's clear, he's fast, and then still doing the wiggly vibrato. That is, I dare you to try it. I dare you to try it and pull it off like that. It's not easy. He's a good singer. It's just weird. At My Job is fucking great.
It's almost like a Devo song.
It's I guess you can say electronic, but it's the only song of theirs that sounds like that. Put on a little bit of that because it is the only one that sounds like that. Their entire discography.
It's also not that like sonically they get boring, but it's also like a real nice change of pace.
Hell yeah. What the fuck? What the fuck? Talk about paranoid, dude.
So good.
That's so good, man. I don't. We're gonna waste too much time by putting on the whole thing, but that chorus is so fucking great. But it's funny, like that song. It's about, being at your job and it being monotonous and fucking you're a robot essentially. It sounds, I don't know if it's because of the song, but is that like a trope now to when you picture like a satire, a satirical take on working in a cubicle, you hear electronic robotic music like that? Did they start that? Because that seems like a thing I've seen a lot since then.
Not to like take anything away from the Dead Kennedys. I just think it's more of like a Devo thing because Devo was more like had more of that iconography. They more of a presence on MTV, obviously.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's real interesting. I never thought about like the origins of why people associate those specific noises.
Yeah.
with-
And it's specifically the really dark, low synthy. You know, where the bong, bong, bong. It's this weird where they use tritones. There's a lot of that when in reference to office buildings. It's weird.
yeah,
you
it's
see
like
that a
the
lot.
de facto corporate theme.
Yeah, you even hear it in a lot of I don't know if I'm sure it was real at some point, but now it's at the point of parody where those old when you get a new job, they show you the videos of and it has that music, that kind of music in the background. I don't know if I'm not making that up. I swear to God, it's real. But if you know what I'm talking about, someone else knows what I'm talking about. Like how-to videos, you hear that kind of music in the background. It's very bizarre, but good. And I mean, this whole album is real good. But once again, I got more complaints. Stars and Stripes of Corruption. It's 6 minutes, and it does not do it. Like I feel the 6 minutes on this one. It's like just a regular punk song for the most part that just happens to go on for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
But
I also did not feel too strongly about it.
okay, so I'm not crazy because I don't feel like it's a bad song. I just never liked it. Never liked it. But I don't know. This is the fucking sore thumb of the I was going to say Black Flag, the Dead Kennedys albums. It's the only non-hardcore one. It's all weird. It's so weird, but it's real good. This is almost my favorite. Listen to it, I guess. Okay, so we're on to the last actual album studio release. This is 1986, Bedtime for Democracy.
Take this job and shove it. I ain't working no more.
Once again, another fantastic cover.
Yes.
Take this job and shove it. I ain't working no more. I'm gonna get the job and working for. And I gotta stay away from more than I'm alone. Take this job and shove it. I won't get no more.
Okay, so it does a lot of that. So this is one I gave worst.
Yeah, I understand why you did it because I think it's their longest album, and you really
You
feel it.
Oh,
You feel it.
dude. So they're back to hardcore, as you can hear. They're faster than they've ever been by a long shot. But the whole album is that. It's 50 minutes of lightning fast hardcore.
I disagree. I think the first half is lightning fast, and then I think the second half is a little more experimental.
It's still hardcore though. Like there's only two non-hardcore tracks, and they're my favorite. Specifically, we all know it. Oh, I don't know if we all know it, but you know what I'm talking about. Cesspools in Eden.
Oh, Cesspool is
incredible. It is one of their best by far.
On a side note, I like the way I Spy I feel like I Spy kind of plays into Cesspools in Eden. So, Cesspools and Chicken Shit Conformists are two of the longest, two of the most like diverse, but still real fucking solid.
Chicken Shit Conformist, it reminds me more of Stars and Stripes, Corruption, but
I think it's better.
It's better. But Cesspools in Eden is up there with, this could be anywhere as far as like the greatest weird spacey paranoid songs that they've done.
Also, conceptually, Cesspools has some like similar things from Moon Over Marin.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really like that. And then again, there's more like post-apocalyptic stuff. Like, it's kind of funny. They have that song Shrink, which is like a sci-fi story. And then there's a twist at the end. And I don't know if there's a Matt Damon movie called Downsizing where people... It's...
I forgot that movie existed.
If that movie... I guess because Jello's not about that life. But like if that movie is not inspired by this song, I would question, like, no way.
It's that specific?
Because, yeah, it's about people using a shrink ray because the world's resources are being used up. And then so we'll shrink down. There'll be more room. We can grow things normal size.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. Again, this being how far ahead of the curve.
They predicted the smash hit downsizing with Matt Damon. Yeah.
But yeah, so there were issues. They had played their last show before recording this, and then they broke up soon, like days after it was released.
Really? Didn't know that.
So I think that's part of why there's a lot of why the album's so long, why they may have like defaulted to some of that hardcore thing, because it's just like, we just hate each other. Let's record these songs real fast. Yeah. I think you can feel that in the album, but I still think the good songs we talked about,
like this, I think I'll have to really think about all the episodes that we've done, but this feels probably like the best worst album that we've covered for my picks, because I still like the album a lot.
No, I feel like you're like me. You
have to give one worst. I still enjoy this album. I still put it on every now and then, but is in terms of comparing it to the rest, like, because the obvious comparison is Plastic Surgery Disasters, because it's the only other full hardcore one from beginning to end. But in terms of highs, no hardcore song on this album even comes near most of the hardcore songs on that album.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Although, yeah, I think it actually has more in common with Frankenchrist.
How so?
This thematically and what they're talking about.
Well, musically, not even close though.
It's far less daring but
yeah, it definitely feels like regression, and it's a real bummer because, like, you hear what says Poles and Eden, that they're still really good at making these long, slow songs, and all I want is just a full album of songs like that, and that instead we get 50 minutes of hardcore.
Yeah, I think that may have happened if there wasn't the riff in the band.
Yeah.
Because they basically, they played their last live show, so it was like,
they're done.
Yeah,
they should have just kept. I mean, I'm so glad this is out there because it's a good album. But
another standout track to me is "Triumph of Swill."
Wait, I know the name of it, but you have to put it on.
Yeah, so I like this song because it's obviously a jab at the PMRC, and also they talk shit about Sammy Hagar. Who,
right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Jello fucking hates Sammy Hagar. So
sorry.
We came home and found our son lying dead on his bed of a gunshot wound. He had his headphones on, and there was an Ozzy record on the turntable. So we called our lawyer.
Yeah, this is only like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's hardcore. There's a lot of stuff like that on the album. It's still real good. I actually do wish that Hell Nation from Frankenchrist was produced like these songs. I think it would be I would love the song if that were the case. But yeah, it's produced really well. There's no more they're not overdoing the delay, which is good for hardcore. I mean, it's good not to get muddied and jumbled up and everything.
You do kind of lose some of the surf rock.
You do, yeah. There's a lot less of it in here.
Yeah.
Which is it's okay because the album is so fast, but that's what I love about DK's guitars. Is that tone is just so fucking wonderful. Potshot Heard Round the World, put on because the intro is so good. It recurs throughout the song, but this is a wonderful little thing. I don't even know what the hell to call it. The guitar line is fascinating.
The opening, you kind of got that corporate.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is real good.
Yeah.
This is what I mean by the second half is a little more experimental. Even though it's going to turn into
a hardcore song.
It turns into a hardcore song. But then it comes back to that, though, which I'm glad, because that's such a wonderful, weird little thing. It's almost got like a Spanish vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the second half is definitely more experimental than the first, but it still leaves me craving a lot more than it delivers. A lot more. I want more weirdness. I want more weirdness.
A bitter sweet end to like their career with that album.
Yeah, like it's still good, but I mean, really, like when you think about it, man,
bands have gone out on far worse, way worse.
But it was
Mardi Gras.
Oh God, Mardi Gras gets credence. People, episode 4. Every album they've done is really, really fucking good, and it's so delightful when we get to talk about it, because we listen to a lot of bands where they're not the case.
Also, like outside of like the Misfits, I can't really think of like too many other punk bands that this like really embrace like sci-fi.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely some, but I'm having trouble.
But definitely like Dead Kennedys, and even though it's more of like a Soylent Greens or a Boy and His Dog sci-fi.
It is. And it's funny because the riffs echo that. The riffs, you feel sci-fi and UFO and conspiracy theory when you hear the riffs.
Yeah,
they're that weird. It's fun. It's so fucking good. God, unique as fuck. No one, I've heard damn near no one come close to even replicating that kind of feeling in riffage ever since. And that's not just punk. That's all walks of music and life. Wonderful. Although I do still think this is the worst album, if I had to choose one, which I do, because I decided that was the rules for this podcast. But we still have one more to cover. Last. It's a compilation. It's not their last album, but last one we will be talking about. What is it?
This was released in 1987. This is Give Me Convenience or Give Me Death.
Y'all about to have some flashbacks.
Hell yeah. There we go. This is a classic. Anybody who's heard DK has heard this song.
Dude, these lyrics are brutal. I don't know why they were like, this is gonna be in a video game.
Good ass taste, that's what.
You think they just heard that ride part and they were like, that's...
For sure.
It's also one of the few times the Dead Kennedys music has been licensed out
and Jello approved.
Yeah. What's the deal with that? I thought he was Mr. fucking anti everything.
I think because video games were a big business, but not nearly what they were today.
Yeah, they're just like movies now.
Also, skateboarding wasn't as big, and skateboard was more punk rock. So I think that's
right.
I think that's why he was on board with it.
What was the other instance?
They're in the video games Watch Dogs 2.
Watch Dogs 2?
Yeah.
Wait, why? That's a real random pull.
Maybe because it's about like hackers being like anarchists and bringing down the government.
But it's also made by Ubisoft, who is notoriously Mr. Corporate.
Also, Jello doesn't really he doesn't own the rights to the music, so
but isn't it Alternative Tentacles, which he does own?
Okay, so you want to talk about it now or after the album?
I might as well talk about it now.
Okay, so there's messy legal lawsuits where the rest of the bands noticed they weren't getting proper royalties from Alternative Tentacles and Jello. And they all agreed it was an accounting error, but they felt like there was malice on Jello's part.
He was really in favor of that accounting error.
Or like he kept it a secret, where they were like, if you had just told us, we would have been understanding. So as a result of that lawsuit, Alternative Tentacles and Jello by extension, they were found guilty of malice and fraud.
Ooh, shit.
So Biafra had to pay royalties, for what the band members were owed, damages from the case, as well as giving up the catalog of music. So now,
Oh, really? That's a big loss to give up your. Oh my god.
well, I mean, people can debate about it, but so now, like, Dead Kennedy's music is controlled by East Bay Ray, DH, and Klaus,
I agree wholeheartedly with that.
because they're the majority.
Also, Alex is getting a phone call. Alex is getting a phone call.
So much for my do not
Hey,
disturb.
it's Dylan.
It is Dylan.
We talked about Dylan
It is
Get Big
Dylan.
on the podcast today. Well, this episode. Now he's calling. Look at that. That's cute.
So much for my do not disturb feature working.
Did it not work?
I guess not. It's fucking on, and I was disturbed.
Maybe. There's a little thing with that. If they call within 3 minutes a second time, you get the call because it could be an emergency.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's an emergency.
I doubt it.
Fuck him. Sorry.
Anyways, so because of Jello and alternative tentacles being found of fraud and malice, now the other three members control.
All Dead Kennedys.
Yes.
And you know what? Fuck it, man. That's as much. We love Jello. Okay, we love his lyrics. We love his singing. But goddamn, do I love music more?
Mm-hmm.
I love music more, and I love East Bay Ray a lot. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Oh God, man, he's a huge inspiration. So fuck it. That's my bias.
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back to.
We have an album to talk
yes,
about. Yeah.
we still have an album to talk about.
I really like this comp. This is a great compilation.
It is a great compilation.
We normally don't do compilations, but this one, it has classics.
This is the easiest way to consume stuff that was on singles or B-sides.
Yeah.
We got some repeats like California Uber Alice.
I'm so fucking tired of that song. It's a weaker version.
I just skipped it because I'm like,
it's not even any different. It's just like slightly slower.
But obviously, Police Truck.
Yeah.
Too Drunk to Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday Night Holocaust, which is a fucking crazy. You want to talk about like hyperbole, comparing like the disco scene with the Holocaust?
It's gnarly, man.
There's some hyperbolic shit on there. Also, random side note: Neurosis has a cover version of this, which is real good. If you're a fan of Neurosis, I highly recommend it.
Good band,
they
good band.
did it in like 92. So
Wow.
Whoever was like this, probably because they're in the Bay Area, that's probably why they were picked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this
You got You got another version of Holiday in Cambodia, which is so much worse. It's like Biafra is flat the entire song.
mm-hmm.
I don't know why it's on here. I don't know why it's on here. It just kind of hurts the comp.
This I feel like to give it more hits.
Yeah, probably.
And then Pull My Strings.
Oh, you took the words out of my mouth. It is. I love it so much.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
They were asked to play like a music festival, and someone like called them New Wave or something.
Uh-huh. Oh, dude. Okay.
And they were asked to, and you hear it on the recording.
Yeah.
I'm glad someone recorded this
So-
and they got the rights to it.
For one, it's recorded well. It
Yes.
sounds real good.
One of the best live punk recordings.
I would fucking say the best because we've talked about in the past. If you have a live punk album, fucking get out of here because it for sure sounds like ass, and there are notoriously few even listenable punk live albums. This one, it's so clear. Everything sounds beautiful. It might as well be a studio recording, and it's a long song, like a novelty parody song.
Yes,
But it's, first of all, it's hilarious. Then it's legitimately catchy, like legitimately good. And then it goes
My
back.
Sharona is this catchy song.
Well, they parody that.
Yeah.
And then Ray does a bona fide real solo.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, it's like, holy shit, he could play too. Like he could play like this the whole time, but just chose not to.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that.
But yeah, they were asked to play California Uber Alice, but they kept calling them a new wave band. And then so they came up with this song that was like a jab at that. And they had S's on their shirts. And then after they acted, and you can hear this on the song, acted like they were going to play California Uber Alice. And then
stop.
Yeah.
No, we're a new wave band now.
And then they bring the ties around. So they have the dollar signs. It's very... For a band that hates overblown corporate rock, it's very thematic and clever.
It's so fun. These guys must have been a fucking blast to see live.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds
energy.
so fun. Oh, man. And Biafra, like I said, he's so charismatic. He's really funny. He's great at talking to the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
There's what's the other one? The other live track where he just tells a story. It's Ray probably like broke a string or something. So to kill time, the rhythm section is playing this nonsense jazzy thing in the background, and Biafra's just telling a story about how he got arrested for almost getting in a fight with these preppy assholes.
Is it Night of the Living Rednecks?
That's probably it.
Yeah.
Great storyteller. He's doing like voices of characters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's really entertaining. This is worth listening to. Like, give it a once over, because like that stuff, the story stuff, I mean, it's not really, you're not going to listen to it a million times. It's worth a once over for sure.
Short songs makes me laugh, especially because they go, "This one's for you, Rick Wakeman," who is the keyboard player from Yes. Yes is a prog rock band.
Yes is the best band in the world.
Best prog rock band.
Fuck yeah.
But 11-minute prog rock songs, as they should be. But Jello found that real offensive.
Yeah, I mean, I get it from a quote unquote political standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck, man. Yes is the best, dude. Fuck you, Biafra. They're the best. But also, I love you, Biafra, because this is fucking awesome too.
Yeah. So yeah, this is like the last like Biafra approved things.
Yeah.
They the three core guys tour with kind of like,
and who's been singing for them?
they've had different singers, no one really of note. Obviously Biafra is against it, and he claims that it's not even the lawsuit, and he doesn't approve of any of the releases that aren't on Alternative Tentacles.
Mm-hmm.
He says it's because they wanted to put Holiday in Cambodia in a Levi's commercial.
Oh,
the rest of the band said it's not true.
Wait, so they didn't want that song?
Yeah.
Okay, because that would be the worst.
Yeah, so
I would be upset by that.
So listeners can pick whose camp you want to believe. I think they were approached to do Riot Festival in 2017. The rest of the band obviously is down because they're touring as Dead Kennedys. Biafra said no.
Yeah,
fuck
shocking.
those guys.
Shocking.
Also, he hates reunion tours. And,
another thing he hates. Shocking.
He hates a lot of things.
The man is mad. He's like one of the most abrasive guys that I want to hate based on his choices and the way he approaches things, but I can't because of how goddamn fun he is and how much I love what he's done. Also,
another thing where Dead Kennedy's music wasn't licensed directly, but like a lounge version of Too Drunk to Fuck is in the Robert Rodriguez movie Planet Terror.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that since it came out. So,
but like Biafra got super angry over that, and it's just like because he felt he's like, it's like Quentin Tarantino is like real rapey. He doesn't.
I mean, as far as we know, he hasn't raped, but you gotta admit he seems real rapey.
Anyways, his character in the movie. His character in the movie is real rapey, and Jello didn't like it. It's just like, really, dude, you're the king of satire, and you don't realize like a satire grindhouse inspired movie. Like, you're gonna get on your high horse about like censorship and all this, and like someone is just making a satire movie, and you don't like. Yeah. It's so hypocritical.
It's hypocritical for sure. He's become an angry old man. It sounds like.
He looks real good for his age.
Oh, really?
He's like 60 plus.
Yeah.
It looks great.
That's awesome. Actually, I can't believe I didn't bring this up earlier. I meant to bring it up. Do you know the whole fiasco with the band Feeders or the Feeders?
No.
Feeders with a Z. Man, this is fucked up. So, the Feeders were one of the craziest, most disturbing punk bands. They're also from the Bay Area. No, they were from, I believe, Arizona. But the singer, main guy, his name is Frank Discussion. This guy, fucking maniac. And I want to talk about him here because we're probably never going to get a chance to talk about Feeders. He's a psychopath. So he started Feeders in Arizona, I believe, but had to flee the state because he did this thing where he forged a legal, like a government document, and then sent it out to like a bunch of high schools. It was like for this contest to talk about what it means to be a great student. And it was like all this, propaganda in there, like about how you're mindless and you're wasting your lives in the document that looked like it was a federal document. And to avoid legal action, he fled to San Francisco where he met the Kennedys and more specifically, Jello Biafra's wife, who he had an affair with.
Whoa.
Oh yeah. And, on the Feeders, their first album, it's called Ever Feel Like Killing Your Boss. It's actually pretty good. D.H. Playgirl plays drums on it. And Biafra's wife does the vocals for one song. And it's real fucked up. And this guy, he would do shit like, there was one account of Frank in Get in the Van from Henry Rollins' book, where I think it was Get in the Van, where he was at this dive bar, and he pulled out, I think it was a bird on stage and a hammer. And he said, all right, if you don't want me to smash this bird, you better stop me. All right, no one. And then he smashed the bird. I think it was a bird. If it wasn't a bird, it was some kind of animal, or maybe like a gerbil or something.
Some serial killer shit. What
else did he do? I used to have like a full list of all the shit that this guy did. Last I heard, he was like working for some resistance group in Mexico. Like he used to like hack computers. He was like a computer hacker too. This guy was a bona fide maniac. Mm-hmm. His name is Frank Discussion. Please Google him. And also the Feeders were a pretty good band, but that was he was very associated with Dead Kennedys. And what a weird scene, dude. To have
crazy scene.
These fucking. It sounds like a movie.
It does.
Fucking wild.
Yeah, we've done a million punk rock episodes without talking about Gigi Allen, but that's a whole nother podcast that one day,
Gigi Allen, man, good Lord. I want to look up more things about Frank Discussion just because I know we're not going to get to him. I know we're not going to get to Feeders.
I don't know. Are they broken up? I don't know.
Oh, fuck yeah, they're broken up.
Why not?
Oh, never mind. They just reformed. I'm looking it up as we speak. Holy shit. In 2017, Feeders once again reformed. Discussion joined by Peligro once again.
Whoa.
Yeah. They produced 4 songs with Kirkwood from Meat Puppets.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
I need to check this band out.
I'm going to check it out. Yeah, interesting. Like just to further how controversial that band was and how much of an asshole this guy was, the cover of their second album, which is called Teachers in Space, well, it was just an image of the Challenger. Yeah. So, he's an asshole. But I'm sure Biafra agrees with me that he was an asshole. Fuck, man.
I mean, the list of people Jello thinks is an asshole.
But justified, though. Justified. For sure, I'm on Biafra's side with this one. The rest of it, not so much. But this what are we talking about? Fucking Give Me Convenience. It's a good compilation. Definitely worth a once over for damn sure. I liked it a lot.
Unfortunate that there's this. On one hand, I do agree. If people weren't around for it, why should they get to see it? But also, like, I wasn't alive, so.
Yeah.
During the Dead Kennedys. So it's unfortunate they can't bury the hack shit. Also, I don't think Jello would know what to do with himself playing festivals and shows that fucking huge.
Yeah, I can't imagine him I can't imagine him as a person enjoying it, but I do imagine him nailing it. Just based on how good the frontman he is.
Yeah, the performance The performances would be crazy because, like I said, all 4 are so talented. There's no way it would suck.
There's no way.
Even though they're old men now.
They're old men, but
I believe in them.
Fuck yeah, we do. All right, let's recap. Alex, what you got?
Best album, Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables. Personal favorite, Plastic Surgery, Disasters. I messed up my order. And then worst, this by default, In God We Trust Inc. Just because it's only 13 minutes, but there are arguably start to finish great songs.
Yeah, so best album and personal favorite, Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables. That one changed my little brain when I was like 15 years old or whatever. Because as early as I got to Dead Kennedys, I heard that one late, shockingly. It's one of the later ones.
I know, Mr. Listening to Pantera at age 8 over here.
It was 10, but maybe it was 9. I think it's probably 9. Whatever.
We'll settle on 9.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah, happy medium. And worst album, just because it's long, mostly. Bedtime for Democracy, 1986. It's not a bad album at all. It's just, I feel the weakest. So anyway, thank you so much for listening and watching. If you like us and you want to help us out, I don't think I did any plugs at the beginning of the episode.
You did not. You were so excited.
Yeah.
Because in the past, we used to do plugs strictly at the end. You kind of moved them forward, kind of sandwiched the podcast now with the...
yeah, and I completely forgot, but fuck it, dude. Fuck it. Also, thank you to Emily for suggesting Dead Kennedys. It's fucking wonderful going back to them. And I hope you enjoyed the episode or whatever we did here.
So now the standard plugs, like, subscribe.
Yeah, please.
Check us out. Spotify playlist.
And if Spotify playlist, of course, there's going to be one on Dead Kennedys. You can check that out at everyalbumever.com, or, there should be a link in the description of wherever you're listening and watching. There's a playlist for all the episodes at everyalbumever.com. And if you want to suggest an artist like good old Emily did, please send that to everyalbumever@gmail.com, and we will do it. We'll squeeze it in the schedule at some point or another.
It might take a few months in the chronological order of the podcast, but we'll do it.
It's probably like she sent that email a long time ago. And
I think it was like Christmas time.
And by the time this comes out, man, I'm sorry.
Might be April.
Yeah. But actually might be April. But it comes, we do these so far in advance, and then it takes us so long.
And for us personally, we do so many of them that it doesn't feel like 4 months ago even.
No. And logistically, we try to do these where we can actually handle it, because we don't want to put 2 giant discographies back to back. We want to put a short one and then a long one and one that's a little bit in the middle.
Also, we've been real heavy on metal and punk. Usually we try to switch it up, but...
Dude, the last handful of episodes that have released at the recording of this...
If you're not a hard rock music fan, this is a rough stretch.
Dude, that's why I as much as I want to promote the podcast and tell people to listen to it, I completely understand that we have to have a good number under our belt before people can go back, oh, they did a lot of things that I like. Because right now, fucking Celtic Frost and Husker Du, like, these are not the most known most known names. You gotta be fucking music nerds to
Our
know this.
YouTube views are
abysmal
toilet lately.
But the thing is, I'm glad that I don't give a shit too much about YouTube. The audio, we're getting a pretty good. We have some followers on audio. We got in the hundreds and stuff, and so I'm happy with that. So all of you who are listening and for sure aren't watching,
share, tell your friends. Let's get it into the thousands.
Yeah, something like that. What else? Instagram. You can follow me at Pope Joseph Ventura, as well as my music stuff. You can follow that at Pander Monkey. I'm a lot better at music, for sure, than I am at talking on a podcast. So rest assured that it's pretty good, the shit that I'm doing. I hope. Anyway, Alex.
This podcast is all I got, so I think I'm real good at talking on a podcast. My Instagram, at Mother Puncture, if you want spoilers and hints for upcoming episodes. Yeah. It's real obvious.
Yeah.
If you follow me.
But the best thing about that is, like, we do these so far in advance that you'll figure out what we're listening to in the moment,
but you won't know when it's coming.
You'll forget. You'll forget about it by the time it comes out. So again, thank you for listening and watching. I am taking charge. I'm choosing this last song.
Whenever there's a punk band, I'm not even going to fight Mike about it.
The same with like a hip hop one. I immediately give to you. Metal ones I usually give to you.
Yeah, unless I think Bad Religion's the only punk band, but they're still active, so we're not.
Yeah,
that's the only punk band where I'd be like, no, I'm taking that one, Mike. But
yeah, and I would. I might as well address it here. It's not a big deal, but we did cover Body Count. Body Count recently released a new album, and this is the thing why we do bands that have broken up or they died
done recording,
because continuity errors. So now Body Count has an album that we did not cover on our Body Count episode 9. So our workaround is that we will be discussing any loose ends on our year-end wrap-up episode. So 2020 year-end wrap-up, we're going to be talking the fuck about, that's a weird sentence, talking the fuck about Body Count's most recent album. So until then, we're bands that have broken up, just for the sake of clarity and for
I still think
brevity.
I still think we'd be safe doing System of a Down.
You know what? Wait, are they still together?
Yeah, they're doing a bunch of shows this year.
But are they haven't recorded in a while?
I don't think they're ever gonna record again.
Lazy. But I appreciate it.
I could see it happening, but also yeah, I don't want to spend 5 years on a podcast to talk about them.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it off air. We'll figure it out.
Okay, so the last song, I am dancing between two, and I really want to put "Ill in the Head" because it's one of the best songs ever written. It's super insane. But we did put a taste of that already. We already played a little bit of that. So I think I'm gonna go with the other one. That is, This Could Be Anywhere.
No, fuck.
Well, we're gonna.
I was like moon. But This Could Be Anywhere just as good. It's your pick. Do it.
All right. Thank you for listening. See ya.